What's up, guys? It's your boy Yaron, and you're watching the Yaron Show, the Game Changer. So it's been quite a while since I've been making these episodes. I know that some of you have been watching Nick's Take as much, but like the top of the video says, that I'm going to be talking about, the life and what I've been accomplishing and what changes have been going on through my life and all of those different things. So today I'm going to be talking about um, some changes that I've been going through, um, the easy and the hard. Um, they haven't been quite easy, but I will tell you, it's been the last couple of years that I've been, adapting to change. Um, a couple of years ago, you saw me talking about the organization that I used to be a part of, or this program that I used to be a part of, um, which I got out um, due to finding myself, and it wasn't the right place for me. But I respected the people there. I respected the staff there, but it wasn't the right place for me. Another thing was that I really tried to find the Jewish community here in Westchester. And as you could see from my hat, the Westchester Knicks, which I will get to a little bit later, um, and how it's not really been easy to find that young Jewish um, community, people my age. And I want to tell you something. Kind of feels very, it feels very awkward. And I say this in a very weird way, where it's kind of like you know what you're getting into in life, but when you feel a certain something, it doesn't sit with you right. And that's what I was feeling. I was feeling lost. I don't know what I expected to. There was just this confusion. There was this um, uncertainty of different things. And I really needed that guidance from different people. And I started ranting and asking for help, like really asking for really, um, I was asking for a lot of help in terms of finding community, like the Jewish community. And there would be times where some people, like my parents, for an example, or different people, friends, family friends, they would just come up to me and be like, you got to make it on your own. No one's like, there's going to be some people that are going to help you, but when you live in a certain place that's not what you expected, it's all about marketing. And I think just the habit of accepting to change was a little bit hard for myself. And it got me thinking, what can I do to make myself happy as much as what I would expect? And it kept me thinking. I started reading about some other people's biography, and the places that I volunteer, like the other one that you probably saw um, within the last several months or something like that. So there's been quite a lot that has been changing. And while I was while I has been doing that, there was just a lot. And myself, it's not been easy as much, and I've had a hard time um, kind of asking myself, what have I done and why did I even choose this path to get out of what I was somewhat asking for? And it was hard, because I didn't expect what I really expected. And there came a time where in my head I was kind of like, it's going to work perfectly. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And it sunk down, but yeah, I mean, listen, it happens for a reason. Um, Adapting to change is hard, but you got to get used to it. Um, Moving here was the biggest option or the biggest change that I've ever done because my mom had to commute a lot of, she had to commute an hour and 15 minutes from Long Island to come all the way to here of Westchester. And for myself, I was kind of like thinking, this can't be happening, X, Y, and Z, all that stuff. But then I came up with this opportunity of this program. I told myself I could do it. I'm going to live independently, X, Y, and Z. Yet again, I kind of did it. But the only thing is that I wasn't prepared for a lot of structured things. Like you need to go to every single event. You have to do this. You have to do that. You got to do this and that and bah, 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 bah. And there was just a lot. And for myself at first, I was kind of like, I could manage this. I could, I don't have a problem. I mean, I've done it before, right? No, but I can do it, right? Then when the process of this place had an interview with me and all that stuff, I thought that it would be like an interview for a job or something like that. And, the director at the time or the person in charge at the time was being such an ass to my parents, knowing that, yes, even though I'm saying this in a offensive way, this person was being that type of an ass to myself, but also to my parents because of the amount of times that how can they be a part of this or something like that. And it was hard for me because even though that the odds were we're looking for people like your own, or we're looking for people like um, Joseph, or doesn't matter who you are, but we're looking for people like you because we want to build this place up. And so it worked. But it only worked for a brief time where months later they said, like, even the process of it, they were kind of like, we can't let you get your own apartment because you have to follow these guidelines. So you have to wait until you're accepted. Right after you're accepted, you have to get settled in, and then program specialist, and then community habilitation. So there was a lot of things that were going on and being in the process. Now, prior to that process, I had to pay a lot of money, or my parents did. And this organization was like, as much as it was a hard time for myself because I was used to more of a Jewish community, this was a totally different field. It was very structured as what I was supposedly to. And I mean this with all due respect because I know they're going to be watching this and they're probably going to want me to take this down as much, just because it's accompanied by two big organizations or something like that. And when I say this, I mean with all due respect, because I do have absolutely the respect for the people who work within and the participants, as well as for myself, who used to be one, but now I kind of moved on and moved forward. So I want to get back. While I got accepted, I slowly moved into this apartment that, you know, was one studio and something that I was very used to and all that stuff. And I still do live within the complex, but little by little, there came this pressure of, are you going to each and every, um, activity or something like that? And it just came so much of, I don't know which one. I don't know which one. I am having a hard time deciding whether to go, whether not to go. I really want, this process to kind of let me loose and let me be. There was also a lot of, make new friends, be like, a lot of, you know, a lot of prompting um, someone like myself what to do, and a lot of, okay, please, please, please. And it was hard for me at the time. It really was, but I took it into the consideration of your own, do it, come out of it, and then you'll be fine. Um, and I think time and time again, and I really want to show you what they used to put on the calendar, but I really don't want to, because I really want to be respected or respectful for their privacy. And although I could show you an example of it, um, which I might do in a couple of minutes. So like each time they would tell me to go and maybe do art or go on this field trip, or you know like going to the city, or whatever the activity was, it was more of a social thing, because they wanted the participants to have that collaboration, to help each other out and build that bond of community. Now, for myself, I had no problem with doing that, but when there came to a time where, after the activities were to go on, there was a little bit of times where I would make certain friends, and I wouldn't know what the boundaries or what the expectations of knowing what the odds are that I've hurt some of their feelings, but yet again, you know, it's just me trying to create my own boundaries. But when I have a hard decision, I want to, tell someone, you know, A, B, and C, or, I want to do this, or I want to go with this person, or I want to. And some people took it to heart, where they were kind of like, I'm being attacked. Your own did this, your own did that. And it was hard for me. It was really hard for me to understand what was coming after me. And it felt like, someone was just, it felt like someone was beating down on you by just hurting your inside of your body, because it just felt like some people could help you out, but it's all about, if you hurt my friend, I'm going to attack you. And it just kept on going and going and going. Now, here's the thing. Some people wouldn't do it intentionally, but that's because we have this gift from God. And what do I mean by that? The gift from God of having intellectual disabilities, or whatever spectrum you have. So it was dedicated to that. There wouldn't be so much intention to be like, okay, because this person meant it that way in an instinct. But it was more of, I'm going to have someone defend me and create a law and order type of situation. And I got to the point where it kept on happening time after time after time, which I will keep names anonymous. And it just kept on hurting me like throughout that time of the year. And I remember at the time I even made an episode of, The Game Changer, where I was kind of like, telling you guys, the viewers that are watching, like, oh, I'm in this program and this and that. And I think I could possibly put it up here in maybe one of um, the, explanations, the I bar or whatever it's called. But you could watch that video if you have any time. That one is a very long video. This might be too. I'm not so sure. But I came out and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm in and this and that and all that stuff. And then I just thought to myself, like, even after making some of these like videos, I was kind of like, I'm happy to do that, but what's going to go on with me? Like, you know, what are the odds of this just, mindset of me losing my mind? And I think months have just passed by, and I remember very vividly that I went to Boston with this amazing organization. Amazing. I'm not going to say that they're terrible or whatever, but I had my ups and I had my downs. And it just came down to, it is what it is. And I even mentioned it because I wrote a second book of, for myself and for people to read more information for it and to get their points of views out of it. Um, but yeah, I kind of felt like, okay, when I was in Boston and the person in charge was right across from my door, and I wanted to make my content, and like, there was just so much people, in there was a lot of people. I felt like this surrounding of the uncertainty, and there was a lot of pressure. Um, and I remember telling myself, I can do this. I can be more open to different people, and having new friends and all that stuff. But to be honest, it was just the same cycle, and I told myself, if it's gonna be the same thing, then did I choose the right decision? Did I come down and, am I a bad, like, I was just self-doubting myself, and it really hurt my feelings, where it was to the moment where in my mind I was creating this stressful moment, where it also came down to, me having epilepsy, and it was from stress, it was from lack of sleep, it was from any single thing that came down, and for me to say, bring it in and let this chaos start now. Not stopping, nonstop. And I created this, and I created it over and over and over again. Even like it just happened and happened and happened. So there was this period of time where I told myself, and even getting goosebumps on my legs, pretty much thinking about it right now, just because, there's this like tingling on my legs, just because my foot is getting tired. But I want to keep this, so that way I get to fast forward of how I am today. But there was just at that time where I told myself, let me get on with it. And this is still, I'm talking about when I went to this Boston trip with this organization. And I told myself, be there and just see what goes on in my mind. And, I hung out with a couple of people, amazing people. Again, I'm keeping their names anonymous because I don't want to mention them, and I don't want, any confrontation of right after this video is being published and then them not being, of why did you say my name or whatever. But they were very helpful people who helped me out in time in situations like those, and I really do appreciate them. And it's just, I kind of felt lost, and when I was at that moment of my heart feeling so much, it was just more of this, time of uncertainty, where it was your own. You've got to get yourself down and relax. And I remember when I got back from that Boston trip, um, I kind of told myself, and I don't really remember because I don't think I took any pictures of it, but I could probably try to find some pictures, but I'm not going to put it on the exact episode, but I'm probably going to do my research and see what year that was, just so I could clarify my mind and see what it could go on. But like I was saying, it was a time of uncertainty, and for myself it was this, hard it was this hard mentality of your own tiraga, relax. And I for myself it was more of here we go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was literally yeah. I'm looking at the email right now and I'm kind of like, yeah, it was it was April of 2023. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to process um um wow. It's a little bit emotional, but you know, uh yeah, you know, um yeah. Here I'm looking at another one. Um yeah, I was looking back at it, it was difficult. Um it's um it's kind of weird. But yeah. Yeah. It was kind of a big, thing. And I'll never forget when I came back, that the person in charge of this organization was very more, we came back in this rainy day, coming back from Boston to Westchester, and she was just really cranky and, ooh, like, she was very more of a, um, it wasn't, Like for myself, it was just more of telling myself to relax and keep it in, and just say everything's going to be all right, because it really was going to be all right. And I'll never forget when I got back around, I want to say my birthday or something like that. I kind of had some time to think, and even tell myself, oh, I'm probably going to do this activity, and then everyone's, sending me birthday, emails and imitate, and I didn't really get as many because I really didn't connect with people, or the people, as much as over there in this organization. And it was kind of weird because even till this day I have a hard time, and because it brings me to a certain anxiety where I don't know how to react to it. It's getting better now, but talking about, I want to say 3 years ago. What was it? 3 years ago, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it was a little bit hard. It was really hard because even on my birthday, I was kind of like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of birthday text messages, emails, whatever. And there was even times where I went back to my parents' house, and I would have been there for the weekend. I would have been there for the weekend, and then I came back to my apartment, and I told myself, wow, what am I doing? Like, I wanted to be more with my parents, opposed to be more with the people in this organization that I really applaud, and said to myself, at least you have some friends from this program or organization, whatever you want to call it. לא משנה. בסופו של דבר, what came up was the amount of time of learning when I came back every single weekend, was telling myself, what are you getting into? Like, why are you going back? And even my program specialist mentioned, she was kind of like, what's the whole point? Like, and this wasn't her saying that, but I could read from her face that it was kind of like, okay, like I can't stop you from going to your parents' house. But it was this reaction, or like, maybe it's just me, like right now, telling you guys this right now. Maybe it's just me saying, that's maybe what she kind of said. Or in my figure of reality, like in this bubble of opinions, that's what I kind of thought. And I was kind of like, okay, yeah. But when I do think about it, it's kind of like, what was the whole point of me going back to my parents' house? What was the whole end goal? And then I kind of knew, fast forward to, well, I'm really getting like goosebumps from my leg. It's like really tired, which I don't think I could take it as much as talking about it. Just it makes me think that, oh my God, it might happen, God forbid, but it's not. And I really have to stop with that anxiety, like the anxiousness that I have. Because usually when I do talk about this, it's more of like, anxious of when I do talk about this, because I never really felt like this before in my entire life. But where was I? Yeah, when I came down closer to the end of that summer of 2023, I told myself that, it's either going to be stay until stay until the beginning of September, or it's either going to be you're gone. And yeah, like thinking about it, I was just like, it's very odd because I'll never kind of forget it. And I remember, like, and in this place, or like in the organization, they always have these anniversaries for people who stayed 4 years or even more. And it's kind of nice, it's kind of cool. Like, you get a special diploma, and each person, which is the specialist, they say like, oh, what he's done, and contributing to the community and this and that. And it's kind of nice. Hamud kaze, it's like, helping the organization out a little bit. But I remember being there, and I thought to myself as I'm watching these people, and I remember so vivid that even going there made me like very, I didn't enjoy it. Like, to be honest, there was a lot of catering, and I saw the parents just like smiling at their loved ones, and I was kind of like, yeah, like half of these people that I kind of butted heads with didn't even move on with their issues with me, and I don't know what's the whole point. I don't. And I just sat there and putting a face like this, and I was just like, smiling. And then I would just go back like, this a little bit, where it's sickening myself. And I thought to myself, and this was in, I want to say, what was it? Yeah, it was around like August. I want to say it was around August, where I told myself, and I know I said September, but I'm going to go back a little bit, like August-ish. I think it was around like September-ish. And it was just weird, because that's the moment where I was kind of like, I'm out. I'm letting this person know that I'm going out. And yeah. And I'll never forget, like, the last email from this organization. The I'm just sorry. I need I need a little bit of time. I'm so I'm sorry about that, but where was I? I guess I was talking about, when that whole, congratulations ceremony was, like, those months in August, and when all the parents were happy for their loved ones for bringing in this place for 4 years. And myself, I was just like, saying the same thing as what I said before. I kind of told myself, like, what is this, like, Bishulman Matzav is it? And I think from there, I just went and I came into my apartment, and it was kind of like a setting like this, you know, a little bit dark, a little bit like misty thing, because and I kind of told myself, is it worth it? You know, like, is it worth doing this cycle again and again? And it was like towards the end, and came September, and I want to say, um, in September of my last month of being in this organization, I kind of told myself, maybe this is the month. I think this might be the month of here. Yeah, I found it. It's too easy. But yeah, like here, I'm looking at it right now as I'm speaking. You know, um, there was you know, Shabbat dinner with, you know, another person who's kind of affiliated with this organization, and then there was mindfulness, and then, you know, running and walking at the dam. If you guys know, and you're from the Westchester County, and you know where the Kensico Dam is, so there was that, and there was like art classes on different days, and you know, it was just, time was winding down, and I told myself, that's it. Like, I literally told myself, like, done. And then, you know, I think at the last week, which I'm kind of looking at, was you know, September 22nd. It was you know, it was like an apple picking day. I don't know what I was doing on that day, but I'm looking at it, and you know, I'm just asking myself, Yaron, what do I do now? Do I wait, or do I have another, you know, mindset of, you know, just random pound, you know, just little, you know, boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't hurt myself anymore. So my last day being in this place, and you know, being a part of it, was September 31st, I believe. It was September 31st, and you know, I kind of thought to myself, I kind of thought to myself, okay, this is it. I got in. I'm looking at it right now, and it's like hard to tell, but I was accepted in November 18th, 22. Of course, 2022. The last one was June. Oh, this can't be right. Sorry. My last one was it was September 31st, I want to say. Or, because it was the week after, so they said that, and I'll never forget. I was just I'll never forget. I was just standing there, or not standing, but I had a meeting with that program specialist, and we had a conversation, and it was the last one, and we kind of talked, like, what are you gonna do after, what are the odds, that what do you kind of regret not doing within this organization, and my answers were, that I should have really gotten to know everyone. I wanted to know everyone, but I didn't want to feel rushed. I didn't want to feel, being told or being prompted to go meet Billy or go meet Sherry or go meet Elohim, like Shani, or I don't give a fuck. But the more, and I'm being honest, the more that people push me into making new friends with other people, whether it's staff from a different program or whether it's something else that's remotely the same thing, which I'm kind of dealing with a little bit less today, because even though I'm kind of still dealing with it as often, it's a very low chance, because sometimes I could escape from it, but when I go back, it's the odds of regulations, by the book, zil. And I kind of told myself, when I kind of said I should have been more active in friendships and this and that and po vishama, there was a part of me where it was kind of like, okay, well, what would I have done better? And to be honest, I wasn't so sure. There was a part of me where I said, I wish I made new friends, and I told this person this, that I need new friends. I should have done X, Y, and Z. And I even told her I should have been honest. But whenever it came, the thing is, when I was at that place, I felt so robotically that I was kind of like, okay. And then me being scared of my own shadow. So whenever I look at my own shadow, it just came down to me looking at the wall and just seeing, what's on the shadow or something like that. Like, because like when you look at this shadow and you look at when you look at yourself, you're gonna be afraid of overcoming that, and just knowing to start to be more assertive. And I couldn't do that. And I'm not saying I wanted to do that with this person or the program specialist, but it was just, so many. It was meet new friends. How about this? How about that? Do this activity. Do that. And I didn't. I wanted to be left alone and to do it on my own. Even if it took 3 months, even if it took a year, even if it took 5 years. And for myself, I wasn't ready. It was also not the right place. It wasn't the right place from the start sometimes. And I told myself this once. It was around February and it was around March. I said, maybe, like, is it the right place? Maybe in that video that I earlier made in that year was, what are the odds? You know what I mean? So in my head, it was this mindset of, how can I fix myself by not breaking out? And it was more of the mentality of just people telling me and just, using little puppet wires to kind of tell me what to do or something like that. And I'm not saying that was the staff. I'm not saying, you know what? It's even the affiliates of this organization. So it wasn't just them. It wasn't the colleagues or the program specialists, but it was also their affiliates, which ran through the community service. And I kind of felt very, it wasn't me. זה לא היה בשבילי. זה לא הגיע לי למצב שאמרתי לעצמי, וואו, אני רוצה להיות שם. זה הקהילה שלי. היו ימים שהייתי הולך to a friend of mine, and to be like, to a friend of mine, which right now, it's not really close. We see each other every now and then, and we're like, hey, how you doing? This and that, but there would be conversations of, where I would be like, kehila, using the word kehila, and the person and that person that I hung out with would just be very like, okay, ha 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 ha, and then that's it. Like, and I would nod my head and be like, have you ever really been in one? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in my head, I was just like, אני גדלתי עם הורים ישראלים. So, if you're gonna have the siach with me and to say your ha-ha-ha moments, at least be appreciative and be like, I understand him, but I can't do anything about it because I gotta focus on my own path. And yes, both of us did it. We set our ways, and Shema, it was not easy. It was very hard because at that moment I got out and I was kind of like, okay, like, out of that door from this place, and I'll never forget it. It was the last day of it was what was it, like brunch at the park or something like that, and it got canceled. So instead of that, we did like a movie night. And weeks later, we all know what happened. October 7th, that hit, and I remember vivid that days before that, went to NYU, put the EEG, came back. 3 days, 4 days, I'm looking, I'm scrolling on Instagram, and I'm kind of like, okay, here. And what comes up was Israeli flags, people running, and I'm kind of like, wait, how is this possible? And that hurt me. Because if I was even smarter enough to say I really needed help from the place that I used to be a part of, even though I didn't interact with any single one of those people, not even one single phone call. And listen, it wasn't like oh, we didn't want to call you, we didn't this, we didn't that, we didn't blah, 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 blah. But it was just because I did not take the initiative in saying, I'm going to hang out with you, or I'm going to hang out with you, or I'm going to hang out with you. Because, it would have been like, what's the point? And I remember I got this letter from, the organization that came up, and this was the email, and I have it really here, but I don't want to show it. And of course, for me, I had some family members from, my parents' side, being being kidnapped or murdered on both ends. I'm not going to, again, names are going to be anonymous, but this is the email that I got from this organization right after I left. Here's what it says. Good morning, or sorry, let me start off by the subject. Attack by Hamas against Israel. Good morning. I know that many in the community have been impacted by the horrible events in this past weekend. To help process these events, we will be dropping in group on Monday, October 16th at 6:30 at the place's name, for anyone that would like to share their thoughts and speaking individually to their program specialist. If they are more comfortable, pizza will be served for everyone that would like to have dinner. And then the person's last name is Green, so Green, and that's it. I saw that email and I just knew, what was the whole point? Like, I just knew to myself, I had two people, or it wasn't me. Like, I didn't have two people. Like, I didn't know them well, but my parents, my parents, like, families, friends, or their, cousin's son murdered. So what? So, like, you're not gonna even call me and say, we know that you got out and you have relatives over there, and we just want to see, if you're okay. And I'm not talking about the participants, I'm talking about the staff. And I was kind of like, are we losing our minds? Like, can we just process this? Because at that moment I was kind of more upset, and it was just hard. I couldn't really wrap around, and I just it really didn't hit, and I told myself that it just made me sick. It made me sick because for myself, I know it's a true community in a household with, people of immigrants. Now, of course, in this place and in this program, תרבות אמריקאי, זה תרבות אמריקאי שאמריקאים לא יודעים. They're not, like, for them, When they hear the word community, it's like a club. It's a club, and when you're out, you can't go back in. And in order for you to go back in, and I didn't really say this at the beginning, but if you wanted to go back in, you had to pay a fee of $14,000. And I said this at the I said that at this other video that I mentioned years ago, or not even years ago, but it was like 3 years ago. And I was kind of like, I'm not doing that. I'm not. And I'm just sitting here right now, and I'm thinking, this person got murdered from one of my parents' cousins, and their kids. And I heard the whole entire story because I was there. And then the other side was, my friend got kidnapped. So what do you expect? That you're not going to give me a call and say, you have family there. Is everyone all right? You get deleted. You're not even affiliated with them anymore. And if you want to be affiliated, you got to go back. Money. Like, I'm not kidding you. This is what they wanted. Cash. Like, a check or cash. Like, doesn't matter. It was either this or not. Like forget about it. Like, literally, it was just, makes me a little bit angry, but I'm sorry that I have to do this, but it was really this. It was this. But you know what I said? I'm going to take it like a man. Because I'm not going to sit here and dwell. I'm going to dwell, but I'm going to do it like a man. Because I don't cry. And when I did, I went to the county center, and I went to my first Westchester Knicks game, which slowly that's going to come in. And I saw that leat, I started to find my new place, my new family. And it took some time, but I managed, you know. And I'll never forget, I went to my first Westchester Knicks game in December. And I went to my first Westchester Knicks game, and it was against the Celtics, the main Celtics, and we won. And I started vlogging again and making these videos of, you know, the call-ups and, you know, how the Knicks are going to do and this and that. And I felt this joy again, you know. I felt this joy, and it felt good. Like, it really did. It felt good. And I was happy. And the first year was kind of odd because, you know, like every single other, you know, like every single other game that you would kind of see or whatever, you know, you would kind of you would kind of get that in, you know. You would kind of feel like, wow, you know. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find the first video, but it doesn't really matter because I could just show it to you another time, or I'll probably bring up the. I might have deleted it, but I'll show you another one where it's somewhat as close, and the later on of what's what came by. So, you know, um, yeah, you know, um, yeah, I'll actually show it to you. So, yeah, this is my first game that I kind of went to, and it was an interesting one because when I kind of went there, it's kind of interesting because when I went there, it was more of it was more of like of getting myself back into a routine, a healthy routine that I was kind of used to. And you could see me, and I'm so happy, and this and that, and mentioning and doing all these like amazing things where I'm kind of like, mentioning about Jacob Toppin and this and that, and just doing the edits and looking back at it, because this is November, think about it. So like over here, I'm growing, I'm making myself a better person, and it's amazing. It really is. And going back there, or like just going there for the first time, I was like, this is my home, this is my community that hopefully will bring me into my calling. This place, like literally, this place will probably bring me my calling. And luckily it did, you know and I'm not saying that other places will not bring me my calling, but you got to have that one place where you could be like, that's the place. And that's what I kind of did. I really connected, and I told myself, this is the moment. This is the moment where you're gonna get to know everyone, and you're gonna be the number one person that you're gonna love being there. And that's what the time was supposed to be. The time over there was really supposed to be that, like, wow, you're gonna have an amazing time. You're like, this is your moment. Like, you know what I mean? This is your moment. Like, this is you. This is right then and there. This is your moment. Like, show the fuck up. Like, show yourself out there. And I'm like watching all these guys. Jacob Toppin. I'm watching Jericho Sims. I'm watching Miles McBride. I'm watching all these guys play. And I was kind of like, wow, this is actually happening. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, damn, I've never felt so good. Like, yes, it wasn't a full packed arena, but still, like, at first I was, just sitting up. I was like, wow, this is $16. That's nothing. Like, wow. And I'm literally 3 minutes away from my apartment to the county center, Westchester County Center. So like, this is perfect. And little by little, I told myself, this is the moment. And, it was just that. Like, it was really in an instinct that I was kind of like, that's the place. And ever since there, I just went often. I went often, and I was really known. Like, I remember at one point I was kind of like, I want to interview the players, and I want to do X, Y, and Z, all that stuff. And it didn't happen, and I was kind of like, okay, maybe it's not worth it. And then on the second hand, I was kind of like, no, there's going to be something good that's going to happen that, Elohim is going to give me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, something's going to happen here. And I'm watching, and I'm like watching these games, and I'm kind of like, wow, like, this is an amazing one, we're leading by a dozen and this and that, and it was amazing. Like, like, I remember it so vivid. Like, this video was when the Westchester Knicks weren't like really as good, but they did so well, and they gave it all they had. But they came out so short. The year after, it was the Westchester Knicks actually reached to the Eastern Conference semifinals, which they were in second place, but they lost against the Celtics. So it was pretty much more of a, oh my God, like, this is happening. And I've got to say, like, it was really at that moment where I was kind of like, you better watch it. And I told myself this, like, you better watch it, because something's happening, and it's going to happen good. And this year, you're not going to believe. You're not going to believe, like, I remember right after this season, the one that you guys are watching right now, the one where the Westchester Knicks were so good, and they had Morris Brown, and they had Achuma Okeke, and they had Bale, and they had Alex O'Connell, and they had Isaiah Roby when he was like a young kid, and all these guys. I was just like, this is my first year as a season ticket holder. Wow, what are the odds? What did I ever do to deserve this? What's going on here? And in my mind, I'm kind of like, shit. And I'm taking, like, my third year, like, which is this year, I'm taking pictures with people that go to the Knicks game, and I'm like, I'm just, I'm going to, sit in the VIP, and I'm going like, and I'm like, asking my ticket guy for permission to sit like courtside and this and that, and he's like, the odds, and he's like, I'll let you know, and this and that, and I'm like, I'm this nervous, I'm literally this nervous person, and I'm kind of like, holy shit, and I meet all these like new guys this year. I meet Adam E. I meet Mellow Mike, and I meet all of these other guys. I meet even some of the players. Dink Paint. I meet his aunt. I wish him also good luck in Purdue. I meet all of these other players. I even got the chance to meet, um, I even got the chance to meet, um, I even got the chance to meet the players and Daniel Jones. And it was just at that moment where I was like, this is good. Like this is what I'm talking about. And of course, that's little by little when I started to, come in and, open up a little bit and talking to um, this guy, Adam, and all those stuff. And I really want to show you guys the pictures because it's pretty cool. Like, I just really, like, that was the moment where I started to pop up a little bit. And it came to a sense where I was like, I fell out of my comfort zone. And, it was just, it was like so much, like, my God, like, in my mind, I was just like, wow, like this is the year, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just scrolling down and like looking at these pictures, but hold on a sec. I'm just gonna show you guys these pictures of like, you know, um, it's gonna take me some time, but hear me out. It's amazing because I met these guys and they're just amazing. Like they're so down, and like I got opportunities to meet them, and like like here I'm gonna show you a picture of one, but yeah, it was cool. First of all, let me go back. So I'm gonna show you guys. Um, but yeah, like here's a picture of on your left, right over here, is Adam E. I always forget how to pronounce his name, and then in the middle is Mellow Mike, which I bumped right into him um, last year when the Westchester Knicks had um, when they had Morris Brown and Ochumalo KK, because I had the Knicks fan TV hat, and he had the shirt, so it was kind of like that, you know, family love. And like ever since then, like, and I don't know if you could kind of see over here from my end, but if you kind of zoom in, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. Like here, let me try to, yeah, if you don't see it, I'm gonna like try to zoom in a little bit more. But if you don't see it, it's like right over here, and it says post game fan meet and greet. And basically with that, you get to meet the players. And at that moment, I was kind of like, yo, this is kind of cool. Like, and I did, like, I got to meet even Nick. I got to meet Nick, and I got to meet wow, I forgot his name already. I think it was I gotta look back at the names, but it's on SofaScore. It's on the G League app, so you could search it up if you want. But yeah, like it was just all of these guys, and I mean, literally, like, I was just like even mind blowing to kind of see here. Like, here's another one here. So like you see me, and then you see like some of other our guys that we usually meet up with, and all that stuff. You see Dink Paint in the middle, Mr. Purdue, and then you see some of my other friends. I always forget their names, but whenever I go on Instagram, I tend to see their names and all that stuff. And I believe that's his relative, but I can't tell. But he came with his aunt, so and then of course that's Adam, and then some of the other guys that come to the Westchester Knicks games. So it was kind of cool, you know what I mean? Like, and like, man, it was just, you know, and of course, like, this is my seat, so this is what I kind of see from up close. You know, so I get to see this, and it's really cool. Like, yo, like, my God, like, you know, Nick Jordan. Um, but yeah, and then you had Warren. Um, yeah, and then, yo, but yeah, let me turn that off for a bit, so that way you get to see other pictures and instead of like what I do have. But here we go. So like for an example, with this one, this picture, I'm shooting on the free court line, and you know, I made it in, and you know, it was just that fun moment. And here we've got you know, come on, what's yo, oh my God, wow, come on, yo, it's my favorite one because he's a two-way player. Hold on, don't let me go, but hold on, I'm gonna check it out right now. Rosters, Trey Jamison. So here's Trey Jamison, and of course he's like on the team. So if you ever see him like right now, like, you know, obviously that's him. So I took a couple of pictures with Trey Jamison. He's a really awesome guy, down to earth and all that stuff. So, you know, and then of course there was another meet and greet which I did go in the city, and you know, Adam was kind of like, listen, you know, we're all going to the city. Are you coming? And this and that. And, you know, Knicks alumni are going to be there. So I was kind of like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm going to come down there. But I didn't really hang out with them as much because, of course, you know, like I didn't know when to go, and, you know, being that shy person, and I still am shy. But meeting up with players that were amazing. And we were there like all together, but in different areas of the place. So I met up with D'Angelo Gallinari, and, you know, I met up with John Sparks, and I tried to ask him to sign the picture that I met with him that last time when I was at Dykeman, but he was like, no. And of course it was the rules and this and that. I was like, screw it. Like, let me just take a picture with him. So that was kind of a special moment. And then it's always in my head, but I think it's Drexler, something with Drexler or something like that. If you want to comment his name, I think it's like something with Drexler or something like that, or shit, because he's an 80s guy, and I'm like, I don't know his name, because I definitely know he was in the Bernard King roster, if I'm assuming, probably before or in between. But yeah, I met him. And then, of course, Larry Johnson, the Big L. So met him, 4-point play. Yeah, and then of course, and that's my cousin's stuff, which I'll probably escape from that a little bit, but you know. And then there's just like plenty more photos, but you know, then I also met John Wallace. So I funny thing is that when I met back at the Westchester County Center, it was supposed to be John Sparks and then Larry Johnson, but instead John Sparks couldn't make it. So instead of that, it was John Wallace, and I was just like, what the hell? Like back-to-back players, and it was just so interesting. And this is the photo that I wanted to show you guys, because this is a picture that I was kind of like so, amazed by. And I was kind of like, wow, like, over here you've got to your left, of course, you got Adam, you've got Saida. Saida is also another person that used to come, or not used to, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but comes with this guy Mark, if I'm right, and then Mellow Mike, which sometimes I'll tell you a little bit something funny about him is that whenever I don't remember something, or I'm kind of like, who is he? He'll be like joking around with me, but and then, a couple of other of Adam's, you know, collabs or friends. So over here is Harris, and I started following him, and he's like this awesome content creator who's just like very open into, the Knicks. Listen, I mean, we also spoke, like, we were kind of like, we want to build the Westchester Knicks so that way they could get more open and all that stuff. But it's all love, and we just come out there and we want to congratulate the players and this and that, and just get a lot of like, we just want to give them love, like, even if it's a win or a loss. And that's what we did that this year. And it was just that, like, you know what I mean? It was just, we came out, and it was just at that moment. This is for my show. I'm also doing The Wizard of Oz. So, but back to this picture is that, there was a lot of like collabing, and, we were just all together. And and I think this person, this person, I always forget his name, but he loves to bring different, cards, and he has this like album, and he just brings them like constantly, like, sometimes, like, he'll tell me, like, if you want this person to sign it, just go to like CBS or like Walgreens or whatever, and just get it signed. And I'll be like, wow, never knew that. So like my opportunities, like, I'm just coming up and and doing that. And that's what I started doing. It just came out of this constant thing. And of course I went to on vacation to watch All-Star Weekend. But it's like, they're not like wow pictures. But how many? Wow, I'm on for a lot. But I'm gonna show you a couple of things, and then we're probably gonna end it. So like, here's another kind of thing. So yeah, so also, and I'm gonna try to
Westchester Knicks.
Warren, and then also Allen Houston was there. I don't know if it's this video in particular, but Allen Houston was definitely there at that game. So but it was definitely awesome. Whenever it's a video, I gotta figure it out. But yeah, at that game, I think this was the game where Tyler Kolek scored 8 points, and then after that, I went to the Knicks versus Wizards game, and he scored, what was it, 43 points or something like that. But yeah. So you kind of see, like, filming and all that stuff, but it was really cool. So, and then of course the game itself. So like, I'm really close to the court. Like, I'm really closer to the court and all that stuff. Like, it's really interesting. Sorry, this is not the game where it was like a day before. So I don't know. I gotta find that, but definitely this is what it looks like when I sit at the Westchester Knicks games, and it's kind of surreal, like you know what I mean. So yeah, but I want to fast forward it so that way I could kind of wrap it up a little bit. I want to get to the point where I kind of go and I shoot on the court, because I did show you the game where I'm shooting on the court with yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so actually I'm gonna actually show you some pictures. Um, so over here I met Bal. So, oh, sorry. Okay, I met Bal right over here. So and then of course Isaiah Roby. So that was pretty cool. Also got to meet his girlfriend, which was kind of cool. Sometimes their families or loved ones come in, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, and then of course Mr. Purdue. Is it Purdue? I'm trying to think. Purdue, right? No, it's not Purdue. Fuck. No. I thought it was Purdue. I think it's Purchase or no. It's definitely a team on Rhode Island, but yeah. I think it is Purdue, but if you want to comment down below, please do. But that's Mr. Dink Paint. I'm gonna keep it that. But yeah, he's a pretty. Listen, this guy's awesome. Like, yo, if I had to say, like, I enjoyed watching him. Like, he was really cool. And then of course, as you guys could see me, I'm right over here, sitting courtside, like right near the Westchester Knicks bench. That was like a pretty cool one. Also, I got to go to the Long Island Nets game when the Westchester Knicks were going there. So that was a pretty special moment for myself, even though I didn't go with the guys because they kind of went during the end of the season. So this was during March 1st. So yeah. But yeah, this was like pretty cool to kind of, yeah. But yeah. But yeah, and then like right after this game, I went to what was it? The one that I explained to you about, which I want to say was the Squirms or whatever they're called, the affiliates of Charlotte. But yeah. This is the pass of yeah, no, this wasn't the pass, but yeah, let me show you guys when I kind of went to the when I kind of went to the game, and I kind of made a poster, so that was kind of nice. I also went to a Knicks watch party, which was from a Knicks film school, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, here, so I'm going to show you right now. Yeah, so over here, okay, I don't know if There we go. So like right over here is the day that Tyler Kolek played, and also Ariella Porty was there and all that. And I believe in this game he only scored 8 points, if I'm not being mistaken. But I don't know. Is he even in there? Yes. So this was the game, if I want to be correct, against. Wow, I don't know who it was against, but I want to say it was the Squirms or whatever. I don't know. Did I put my phone where they were going up against? But I don't know. Let me actually show you the game, and then I'll probably remember. Okay, no, I didn't. But this was the game. This was the game that I went with Josh, my friend Josh, who you probably remember from certain other videos of Knicks Take. This was the game where Tyler Kolek scored 43 points, and when he went to the Garden, scored 11. Crowd chances. Tyler Kolek scores 11 points. Roar, like immediate roar. And of course, this was the view that I got to see it from, so that was kind of cool. And it's so cool because just to see this comes to show, like, wow, this is surreal. And like, like it just, like, I'm just like, wow. And you see Tyler, yeah, isn't that, no, that's Jalen Brunson. But there's Tyler, you see right over there, guy running. So, but it was a pretty awesome game. Got the W, and of course this was last place team. It was like, obviously, even I remember what Adam told all pick. So it was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm down to come. And these were like, think about it, guys. These were like last minute tickets. Like I had to pick and be like, who am I going with? And I was kind of like, if it's my friend David or if it's my friend Josh and this and that. And I'm like overwhelming myself. But I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm going with him. That's it. And it was just like, my God. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. Like, really? That was a crazy game just to, like, be a part of. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. I want to put a pause to the song itself. I'm sorry. But yeah. So like, of course, and it was cool. It was like really cool just to see that. And then of course Alvarado and the steal and all that stuff. But it was just, my God. Yeah, and then fast forward, the game was over, we won. So that was kind of nice. So, and then Miles McBride, with some fans. This, I don't know if you guys could see it. Hold on, can you see it? Yes. This was a surreal moment. Like, just take a listen, and it's just, and we're all family. That's the best part about Knicks Nation, is that we're all family. Like, even if, yeah, this is a video, so I might have to go left. But here's mine. So like, and it just went in. Like, I'm taking my time, and then it goes in. Like, hey, and like it's just that fun moment, and I'm kind of like, wow, like, that's me. You see, like right over there, you could see me shooting that shot. Like, let me just zoom in a little bit closer. Like, but you could see that, like that for me, like I'll never forget that moment because I was at the Garden shooting my first free throw shot. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. It was really crazy. And like in my mind, I was kind of like, what are the odds? Like, you know what I mean? And like, and this is like from Adam's angle, so it was kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it was pretty cool, but and then this was like on the way out, I think it's like the lounge space, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And of course, fast forward, this was the second towards last game versus Long Island, and I kind of came there. It was very emotional, just to be with the rest of the guys and all that stuff. And I remember there was this like miscommunication between me and my parents because we were kind of like, we're going to Tokyo, and then next thing you know, it was kind of like not until like midnight, and the Chicago Bulls game was at 2:30, and then I was kind of like, what, you know what I mean? And like for me, it was just like, okay, like no worries, like I'm not gonna kill you, like, you know what I mean? But no, like my parents were totally cool with it, and they were just like, you can go, like whatever. And I was just like, oh god, like that feeling when your parents are just like really cautious. So it was that, but I really do appreciate them for being like, a little bit honest, and yeah, as much as they're like a little bit of that mentality. So yeah, and then of course Dank. Or I think it's Province. Province. I'm like Purdue. I'm like Purdue. I think it was Province. He said Province that he wanted to go. Province. So yeah, I'm like Purdue, and then it's Province. But yeah, shout out to Mr. Province, and then Mr. Dank again. I'm gonna miss him in that jersey. I should have got it, but was this a video? No, this was another picture, and then this was their starting lineup for the Westchester Knicks, and then a video and all that stuff, and we won. So it was kind of cool. And the funny part is that we went as a group, so it was kind of like it was me and the rest of the guys of the rest of the Westchester Knicks group, and my ticket guy, or our ticket guy, because we all share the same ticket guy. So it was kind of like, wow, like that's cool, just being a part of it. Like, my God. And then like you could kind of hear me at the end of the game. Wrap it up, guys. Wrap it up.
Nice. Long Island foul number 14, Trey Davis. His fourth, team's fifth foul.
And then over here, and then you see it's like it wasn't really worth it to come back, but we won anyways. So that was our revenge after the first game that I went to, and then the last one was literally that score, which it's kind of hard to get the score when you take a picture of it because sometimes it would turn out black. But this one I was kind of lucky because I had to angle myself and also relax because my hand, tends to shake a lot. So, but yeah. And then, of course, this was the thank you fans, like, appreciation, game. And, the game was close. So, and of course, this was like the final minute of that last game where TJ Warren had the ball, and he's kind of like, it all comes down to that. And we're all like looking at each other like, the fuck? And it's like, yo, like, you cannot believe it. What did I just do? What did I just do? Oh, because I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, wrong. I want to show you guys. Oh, fuck. Yeah, but I don't know if you guys saw it, but yeah, it was like literally like 1 minute in the game. So it was kind of like, game is wrapping up so close. And it's just like, first bucket in, the second, and like you could see, like we're all just like, wow, like this might be over. No 3-point attempts for Chicago. So but yeah, that was yeah. But that game was also a pretty good one. And then the game was over, so it was kind of like we won. So, like right after this, and you'll see like there's 12.9 seconds, because everyone thought that they would make it, like the Bulls would kind of make it in, but they had like an escape. Like you see that, like they didn't make it in, and then we were good to go. Like that's how you wrap up a season, right there. And then just showing the players and then all that stuff. Basically, I just moved my camera like I don't know what. So, and then my final picture with Dink Paint and his aunt before they went to what is that? It's not Purdue, it's no. Yo, I don't know what it's called. Fuck. I said it before. Come on. Purchase, I think? Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about fucking Westchester. Come on, man. Not Purdue. You know what I mean. This was his last picture before he actually chose to go back and play for a college team that they're gonna probably kill in college basketball. Which, by the way, this guy, he's gonna be a beast, and his name is Dink Paint. Don't forget his name. Like, man. And then, of course, this was my final picture of the season. Got it closer. And then this is Tokyo. So, like, literally, after this game, went to Tokyo. And that's it. Yeah, listen, guys. I gotta say, it wasn't an easy year for myself. Or like at the beginning when I told you guys about the program that I used to be a part of until now. And listen, I'm not saying this place is bad or anything like that, because I don't want to give them bad feedback. But I'm just saying if something doesn't if something doesn't feel right, or the place is not right for you, do what your gut tells you to do. If you gotta leave, you gotta leave. But once you make that commitment, whether it's a place or a class or a person or anything, you gotta just you gotta rip it off. You gotta rip off that bandage, because it's gonna be hard. And like what I just did there a little bit earlier when I paused the video, and what I did there was literally I was pasting around, and this shirt wasn't even on at the beginning of the video. It was really another shirt that I put away because I almost bottled up my feelings, and I let it out. Like, I had to breathe out. I couldn't, while making this video, it was hard, it really was, because I really couldn't expect as much. And, but it's been quite a journey. And, even though I had some ups and downs, I'm kind of happy of what the outcome was. Was it what I expected it? No. But there was some good alternatives of what came out of it. All I say is that you gotta do what makes you happy. And what makes you happy will follow the sky's the limit, basically. But yeah, it happens. Listen, it's still happening to me today. A lot of people within this community service are trying to help me. They're kind of like, we're finding you this community place where I'm trying, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what Jewish community is. I don't know what this, I don't know that. And for myself, sometimes I'm kind of like, they're never going to get it, but they don't really have to push themselves, because sometimes people, whether they work inside a community service or wherever you're going to lead up to, they're going to try to ask what you want, but you just got to be honest. And that's what I'm having a hard time, letting out. It's kind of like, when you have something mean to say, but you can't say it to their faces, that's what you got to do. And that it's going to hurt, but you just got to give that positive feedback and be like, appreciate it, but I don't really feel the time that what you're giving me now is the best time. You know what I mean? And that's that stage that I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? It really is. And it's just right then and there, it's all the positive vibes that you could possibly get. Listen, it is what it is. Life happens, and that's it. You know what I mean? Went to a place that I didn't expect. With my mom's like worries of me living alone without a program or without something. From there, parting ways. From there, going to another affiliation, which I didn't get to talk about because it's literally the same thing, and they kind of went to diners and bowling and play like adventure places, and it was just basically the same thing, but it was just fun stuff. And for me, it was just, it wasn't for me. It was just people that were really somewhat on the functioning lower, and God bless them because they have a special gift, but they don't know how to release it out as much. And that's it. I did the same thing. Right now I go there every now and then, but it's not as often. And that's it. Like, of course, now the Westchester, sorry, not the Westchester Knicks, but now the New York Knicks, we made it. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals yet again. New coach, Mike Brown. As much there was a lot of balagan, we made it. And this is how my year is turning out. So amazing. And my God, life is good. Like, I'm dealing with a lot of change, but life is good, man. There's some days where my days are fucked up, but I'm like, life is good, man. Like, sometimes I'm just like, grab it by the balls, because life is good. You gotta have a lot of awards. You deserve it. Like, I don't need to go to a place where they're gonna be like, you were here for 4 years and you're getting an award because you did this and this and that. And then I have to see different parents, getting certain gifts. Congrats to them. Round of applause to them. But I already got my award. And that's the Westchester Knicks. My new home with my new group and my New York Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And Bezrat Hashem, that will make it to the NBA Finals and winning a Larry O'Brien trophy. Anyways, guys, that's all I gotta say. Life is good, but yet again it's hard. And like in the title, it says, life after point, lost, found, and growing. Anyways, guys, that's really about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you have any comments to say about this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to ring that notification bell if you have any, videos, or if you want to keep up to date with the New York Knicks or the Westchester Knicks, or these videos of the Game Changer, which is probably going to take a little bit of time, but do it anyways, because that's the whole matter, or whatever I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Anyways, guys, love, peace and love. Let's go, Knicks.